Welcome to Cyclops is Waiting For Me, an X-Men animated recap podcast with the Marvel anime X-Men Episode 6 Conflict. I said that in a really weird cadence.
But you didn't stutter over it, so you did better than I did last episode.
I'm Rod, and I am gratefully exhausted.
I'm JC, and I think we're all exhausted. Rod more so than I am right now, though. Cyclops is Waiting For Me is our podcast series where we're going back and watching every single X-Men animated episode that we can find. This podcast started with the original 1992 X-Men the Animated Series, which was building up to the release of X-Men 97. Along the way, we completed X-Men Evolution, Wolverine and the X-Men, X-Men 97 Season 1, and we also launched our companion interview show, The Xavier Files. Since Season 2 of X-Men 97 isn't coming until this summer, we are going to be diving into the Marvel anime X-Men for my very first time.
And some quick reminders. We're a recap show about a series that started over 15 years ago. There will be spoilers. If you don't want to spoil it for you, pause the podcast, watch the episode, whether that's on DVD or wherever else you can find it. I guess apparently Apple TV that you mentioned before.
I saw it. I don't know if it works. I wasn't logged into Apple TV when it popped up, but it said Apple TV at the start of it. Or if you literally just search X-Men anime episode, websites give you the ability to watch it. That's all I'm saying.
But if you're like a lot of people that are getting on the physical media bandwagon again, because like I've been seeing a lot more of it this year than years past, because obviously streaming has always been like a lot, or has been, especially the last few years, but I think we're hitting the breaking point now. Like I think the combination of the password crackdowns and being double of what the subscription started like costing. Someone did a chart, one of the, like, I don't know if it was The Verge or something like that, Verge or Vox or whatever, did like a breakdown of like the starting costs of like a streaming service to the end, and like Disney Plus is like over twice as much.
Yep.
As when it started, because when it started it was $6.99. I don't know if anybody remembers that. $6.99 like a month.
Yep. I will give a local shout out. If you're in Los Angeles and you're in the Valley, there is a store in Chatsworth called We Can Be Hero Comics, and We Can Be Heroes is a really cool setup because they have a comic book shop, they have like tabletop card game shop, and they're like different owners operating the different stores. One of the stores within it is all VHS and like classic DVDs. So like when I got my physical like copy of Pride of the X-Men on VHS, that is where I bought that. Cool. But they have like, I was there a few weeks ago for an event, and I noticed they had like, they had VHSs of X-Men Evolution, because Evolution was still on that borderline of still putting out VHSs. So that's a spot to look at physical media stuff. And I will say, to the credit of the owner, if you tell them what you're looking for, like he'll have it on his radar and like say like, oh, do you want to give me your number? And I can let you know if something arrives. So
that's what I love about the physical media crew. It's not new, obviously, but like it's new-ish enough to the mainstream that it's like kind of still like tight knit, you know, kind of community. Because I gotta check that. I've been to We Can Be Heroes. I didn't know that they have expanded into like the VHS stuff.
It was like when you go in, the comic book store is on your left, and and in front of you is the card game stuff. It's a little room off to the right. I don't know if it was around like even 6 months ago. It might be new enough that
I haven't been there in like 2 years, I think.
It's definitely since you've last been there, yeah.
But I usually go to, speaking of the Valley, there's a place called Be Kind, and if anybody's familiar with like Burbank, across the street from Porto's. Also, if you're not from LA and you come here, have Porto's, and then go over to Be Kind. Be Kind is set up like a 90s bedroom. And so they have shelves, but they also just have like cabinets. So that's part of the shopping, is like open a cabinet, see what's in there. And same thing, Matt, the owner, he just kind of like vibe stocks. I don't know if that's like it's a close.
That's a great phrase. I really like that phrase.
Because like I remember when the very first time I went shopping in there, I was like, I'm just kind of like vibe shopping, right? I don't know what I want until I see it. But the one thing I do at that time I knew I wanted was Batman Returns on VHS, because it was my favorite of the early trilogy. And he was like, man, that one comes and goes, especially in the holidays, because this was back at Christmas. I was looking for it. He's like, well, keep it, like you said, keep an eye out for you, you know. But he's also like, But just go follow our Instagram. And I now know if you ever shop there or think about shopping there, he'll literally just like put Instagram posts of what he's stocking that day. He'll just put a stack on a table, take a picture, put it on Instagram, and then that's kind of your way of seeing what's coming in.
Nice.
And there's no like set days that they go shopping. He's like, he just goes to cons and buys lots and stuff.
Or I'm sure people just come in and be like, hey, can you buy a bunch of my shit in bulk, you know?
Yeah, he trades it. And if there's a place to get VHSs, it's in LA, but specifically the Valley, because like these are like film nerds and stuff. So like one of the biggest problems, if I used to have like trying to collect even like regular audio cassettes outside of LA, was that they'd mold, you know? But here, like most of the film nerds have kept VHSs that long. It wasn't by accident. They've probably been in a collection, like pristine, you know, somewhere. And then Be Kind specifically, maybe We Can Be Heroes has some of these too, but Be Kind also has like screeners that are on VHS, which is wild. Like for anybody that doesn't know what screeners are, like when you're a member of like the Oscars or something like that, then these are copies that they now send digitally to members. And for a while they're sending on DVD. And I've seen DVDs. I never even thought to look for like VHS screeners. Like the last time I was there, they had a VHS screener of Batman Forever, which is wild to think that like that was from before it was like it had a home release. Like this VHS was made when it was in theaters for consideration, you know, to win an Oscar or something.
Right. Because it was going to be 9 months before it was going to come out on home video release back then.
Yeah. And at earliest, right? Like, because sometimes it'd be like a full year, right? Like
it decreased over time. I don't remember where that one was in the time frame, but I remember like the early ones. It was a year plus because they were so scared of killing theaters, and then in 2020 we took care of that for them. So.
Right. Well, Ed, this is like a little side gripe. I'll wherever I can get. Yeah. Someone, I think it was New Rockstars, they call it AMC. They were like, "Hey, AMC, if you want people to go to your theaters and your stock not to keep dropping, get people to stop talking during movies." Which I agree with, because it's annoying. It happens here in LA. I can only imagine how bad it is. This is where people love film. I can only imagine how bad it is, like back in the Midwest where I grew up and stuff. I will add on to that. Clean the fucking theater. I know it's expensive to hire people, but like tickets are like upwards like close to $30 now, not including concessions. Yeah. Like I don't want to sit in like a dried up Slurpee on the seat and also have nasty bathrooms. It's not just the bathrooms. It's like everything is nasty about it, and people are loud. It's just like when people talk about the magic of theater, it's like one of the big the things that are keeping it from that aren't necessarily like the theater as a whole. It's the specific facility just being nasty and letting people talk and text. Anyway,
I would say the $30 ticket doesn't help though.
Yeah, but I would be more like I would feel better
if everything else was great. Yeah,
like because it's like, okay, this is worth the event of going out, you know. And now I'm just like, I just don't want spoilers, you know. That's why I'm going. Yeah. Anyway, that's my old man yells at cloud moment. Anyway, we're currently not sponsored by or affiliated with Marvel Animation, Disney, or Disney Plus, or AMC in any way.
We're just adding things to the list of we'll never be sponsored by these people. Don't forget to follow us on social media. It's Cyclops IWFM. Just do the Instagram. I don't even give a shit about the rest of them. I still post on some of them, but Instagram is really that, and the YouTube channel. Those are like, throw comments in there, leave ratings on the podcast apps, but like interact with us. IG is the place to do it.
And now onto the show. Today we're going to be talking about Season 1, Episode 6, titled Conflict. It originally aired on May 13th, 2011 in Japan under the title Contest. I don't get a lot of these title changes. They seem kind of arbitrary. Anyway, in the US, it would air on November 25th, 2011.
Sorry, I just have to go on a tangent. Rating. I have to go on a tangent there, Rod. Just one day. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. First anime I ever watched was Evangelion. Just read the names of the titles of episode of Evangelion. You're not going to give a shit about the title change here. So, yeah.
You know what? I'll give it this. I'll throw this bone. Maybe there's some sort of weird like legal thing, you know, where they need to be registered differently here or something. I don't know. Probably not. But I'm trying to like give it the benefit of a doubt.
No.
And now we're about to see how good my memory can be from the night before with two recording sessions, two like non-podcast recording sessions in between. goes. So, and how well my notes are. So this opens up in the war room where Xavier's debriefing Cyclops and Emma. I remember this being a little confusing to me because in the last episode, everybody was
they took off. Yes.
And so it like rewound a little bit, right?
Yeah, which we've seen, like they've done that in certain episodes, and like some of them it's more prevalent than others. Like the end of one episode showed that Kick wasn't dead, and then there was like the attack happened, and then the attack in the next episode starts differently. So let's just assume there's like an A team and a B team, and they're just like, hey, this is roughly what that last episode looks like. Make them work, guys.
That's a good point. What if different studios worked on alternate episodes to keep on a schedule or something? That'd be interesting.
Well, I think it's probably same studio, but it's literally
the teams.
Yeah, there's the teams that have to alternate because you have to produce so much of it in such a short time frame. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
And so while all that's happening, we see like a cutaway to Mastermind telling Sublime to keep the X-Men distracted because I guess we're gonna find out.
I love that he's like, you've already failed before, but I just basically I don't care what happens to you, just keep them busy. That's all. That's his whole MO here.
I remember the vibe I got watching this was like Megatron and Starscream.
Dude, that is so spot on.
Yeah, like Starscream's the one we usually see in the fight, but he's always fucking up.
And you know that Sublime definitely wants to take over for Mastermind. He just hasn't figured out how to do it yet.
Yeah,
that's a really great corollary, Rod.
And then I don't know if I can't remember the other episodes that they had mentioned this, but this is where they, at least for me, solidified that this is the Blackbird, not like X-Jet or some other weird name.
I don't think they've named it until this point. I think this is the first time they called it that.
Yeah, so they were like the Blackbird's on its way or something like that. So then the Blackbird arrives in Japan. I don't know how long it's been because I've never like raised kids, so I don't know like how long you miss your kids or whatever. To me, the interaction almost read as she'd been away for like a semester or something.
Oh, I thought it was like a week.
Same. Yeah, to me, it was more like maybe even like a few days or something, like less than a week. But
yeah, I think this was roughly a week.
Yeah. Because they were like, oh, you're all grown up and you're in a suit and I'm a member of the team now. I was like, I guess, like I said, maybe this is why I'm not a parent, but like, I would have been concerned of like, you're already in a suit. You've been gone for a week.
To be honest, I think that means you're actually a decent parent, Rob, because you're like, you have concerns over their well-being.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I would just be like, why are you back already?
Yeah. And then the random best friend, who I'm still not convinced that was like the character in the original something.
Like you think she was like a sister or something like that? Yeah.
That best friend could not be there, and it feels like it would, unless something happens to that best friend later on, it feels like they could be removed from the story and have no effect on this side of the story, but we'll see. But the friend
she's entirely superfluous. Like, I don't understand why she exists.
So to me, it almost just signals that she's like going to be in danger or die by the end. Like it's going to be like Armor's Avenger story, right? So I don't know. We'll see. But you might get your wish of murdering children in this show. We got out of the way real early.
Out of context, that sounds really, really bad. Like, really bad. Like, worse than you saying Cyclops semen levels of bad.
Anyway, so Armor,
which is going to get brought up later this episode.
Armor's parents fill them in on like weird things that have happened. Like, I guess weirder things that have happened, because obviously strange things that happened already. Said that the fish in the river are dying, and there's a steel bridge that was like twisted. My mind immediately went to Magneto, but they addressed that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And so they split the team up. Beast goes to administer the antiviral, which I don't think I got a grasp of how many people were infected until this scene happened.
Remember, there was the bus of people that came back. So I was somewhere around a dozen. So that seemed kind of right to me.
because to me it looked like when he was giving the vaccines, it made it seem like he was there for like hours, and there was like a long line. And I guess also seeing everybody starting to manifest the side effects, because when the bus full of people was there, it was like, okay, these are kids, but like I don't think it registered that every single one of them was infected. It was made like they possibly were, but this made it seem like, oh, everybody's gonna die like in 48 hours or a week or something.
Which is also why I was under the impression it was only like a week since, because otherwise, hey, we're going to leave for a 3-month semester for you. And then they come back and the whole town is just burnt because everybody turned into heat explosions, you know?
It's like the opening fight scene of Team America when they save Paris, quote unquote.
Save.
You know how old I am I was in a recording session with a much.
I was going to say that's a we scenario. Yeah.
Person. And me and one of the other co-writers were about the same age, give or take a couple years. But then our singer was much younger, and so me and this dude were like, "Oh yeah, like this is kind of fucked up, like in the opening scene of Team America." And we both like laughed, and she's like, "What is Team America?" I was like, "Oh." So we explained the opening scene, and she was like, "What is this again?"
As far as I could tell, even though South Park is still going strong across like generations, like Team America was like Gen X millennial and didn't carry over to Z. So
yeah. But even South Park with her, she was aware of it, but she doesn't know any references. Because that's kind of how it came up too. Was like because the other guys about my age like made a Cartman reference, and so we just kind of like did the back and forth with each other. She's like, "What are you guys doing?" like a Cartman. Is that South Park?
Nothing makes you feel worse than being around somebody who's in Gen Z when you're making references.
Yeah, possibly younger, and those references. And whenever I make like Beavis and Butthead references, I'm like, all this is dumb. I know, but it's our dumb. It was our brain rot.
Beavis and Butthead is still good. The new episodes are still good. The mid 2010, the mid 2010s ones not so good. The new ones are actually good again, though.
I kind of liked some of the clips I saw from the mid 2010s ones because it was when Jersey Shore was like kind of hitting its like head and stuff, and I was like, oh, Jersey Shore's like peak Beavis and Butthead. Need to comment on this.
No, the new ones that one of our friends is in the videos for. Those are good.
Oh, really?
So.
I didn't know that. We'll have to talk about which friends.
Yep.
Anyway, so Beast is administering the antivirals. Storm and Wolverine go see what's happening with the fish, and then the rest of them go to deal with the bridge situation. Wolverine and Storm was interesting. I hadn't put together that team up. Oh, good.
Before we get to Wolverine and Storm, you do see he's administering to one dude, and the guy has like giant spikes coming out of his back. It starts to look like the dude just has like it looks like dragon scales on his arm, but then he takes his shirt off and you see those massive things coming out of his back. And I was like, oh, this guy has one of like the painful mutations. Like this is one of the ones that sucks. So
it's like a tusk or something. Or, the first one I thought was going to be a reveal of like Mystique or something before it was like, I don't know.
Because it's like very Rebecca Romaine scale version. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
And I didn't put together when they sent Wolverine and Storm to be teamed off until I saw them on the bike together. I was like, oh, this is sweet. This is like that Wolverine Storm, like
one man's worth story. Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. Like they're just like a good team, even though they're not presumably not romantically involved in the story. We haven't seen any signs of it, but
I didn't get any vibe off of them.
It was kind of cool seeing them like on the bike, and Wolverine says he smells sulfur.
It's the opposite of the Wolverine Sabretooth stuff from X-Men Evolution.
Or maybe it's Sabretooth. We don't know yet. Maybe that's his stage.
So that implies that he's in love with somebody who smells like rotting eggs, is what you're saying?
You know what? We don't judge here.
That's a lie. We constantly judge. Sorry, I constantly judge here.
So they get up to like the river, and Storm's like, "Oh man, this was worse than I thought," because it was like visible sulfur, like it was, and like all the fish were dead, and then they kind of
it was like literally pink. Yeah,
and they go over a ledge, and to me it looked like a crater filled with lava. The dialogue specifically said it was just sulfur. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know enough about history and stuff. But.
So I've been to a Sulphur Springs when I was younger.
Okay.
I was in Australia, and there's nothing worse you could do than put a bunch of teenagers in a sulfur spring, because it is just the worst, like, low class group of jokes you will ever have. But like the color distortion and stuff like that is like, that's what it does to rocks and stuff. So it didn't have like a full crater to it, but the way it was flowing and stuff like that felt legitimate. So
okay, so it's like a spring situation. I couldn't really put together. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and it also eats away at the rocks and stuff like that because it's sulfur too. So yeah.
Oh, so that's maybe where the crater kind of situation happened here. So it kind of introduces this like mystery, and then they cut over to the bridge, and they specifically say like this could have been Magneto, but he's locked away somewhere far away from all this. So they kind of like
in like a supermax prison kind of scenario.
Yeah, which is interesting. Brave choice to make for an X-Men story that is going to be kind of a limited run to like be like Magneto's not part of this.
Well, it's wild because like we talked about in the first episode, if you watch the end credits, like all these villains, which we know are not going to show up, are in the artwork of the end credits, including like some pretty dramatic shots of Magneto. So
yeah,
I guess it's the whole like, you do the shared universe thing of like, they exist in that world, and you don't want to pretend like, oh, this is the only group of people the X-Men are fighting is the xmen. Like you got to at least like acknowledge the other shit that's out there. So
yeah, you're saying the Sony villain universe wasn't correct in not including Spider-Man in the Spider-Man villains stories.
Of the 6 films in the Sony Spider-Man villain universe, I have only seen 2, and both were Venoms.
They weren't good, but they were the best of them.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to even see the finale of the Venom trilogy?
I watched a part of the fight of the 3rd Venom movie, and I walked away.
I can't even say it's like worth watching. I guess someday if it's on like a plane or something.
Nope.
And you're drinking.
Nope.
It might be fun.
Nope.
It's mostly the end, like the ending that's kind of hilarious because they clearly tried to do like a Green Day, time of your life moment, and didn't really read. But with a Maroon 5 song. Anyway, so we see the bridge. We don't really get an explanation for it, but once again, it kind of introduces this. We don't know yet if it's 2 separate mysteries or the same one. They kind of leave that open right now. But in the
Cyclops is pretty definitive that it's like, but there's definitely mutants involved. Like he's like pretty sure on that side. So
yeah, and then in the tank, is that what they're in?
Hummer.
I don't know.
It's a Hummer.
It's just a Hummer. Okay.
So remember like when Hummers became like publicly available that people could buy them, those were an H2 Hummer. That is a Hummer. That is an H1 Hummer.
Got it. Okay.
Like it's the military version of it, basically. But
gotcha.
That's a Hummer.
So in the Hummer, Armor asks Cyclops about the wound that wouldn't heal, and is like, so she went from like being a high schooler to like a toddler. Like this kind of feels like a kid like calling dad out for having an affair, right? It's like, Mom, what was Dad's friend doing over when you were at work? Like that's like that kind of question.
And then it's actually Emma who deflects. She's like, yeah, some things you just shouldn't ask about, basically.
Yeah, and then if I were her, I would have like yelled at Beast. I'm like, why did you even say that to this girl? But I guess that's probably supposed to like reinforce more of like our respect for Emma, right? Of like, ironically,
yeah, like she actually
like, boundaries.
She also like helped put up the shield for Scott when she could have just let it be awkward for him and stuff. So yeah. It probably means more coming from her because she considers Emma her mentor.
Yeah. She's the only one that could probably shut down the curiosity. Back at the house, the Armor's house, I guess, not the mansion, in the house in Japan. The X-Men kind of brief each other on all the different findings. Beast comes out of like nowhere with this like he's like, also one of my patients says there was like a secret lab. It's like that was a convenient jump skip plot point, but sure, let's go for it.
Well, they're focused on the location of the dead zone, the coincidence of it happening at the virus, and then Beast is like, "Oh yeah, by the way," and fits the puzzle piece in perfectly.
Yeah, he pulls the map out, with the location of the secret lab, and so they all agree the next morning they're going to leave for the lab, and then that's what it cuts away to the next morning. They're heading out to the lab. When they get close to the area, like the dead zone, Emma gets like a psychic flash similar to the flash at the beginning of Wolverine and the X-Men.
Oh yeah, the like tone that starts dropping her. Yeah,
and it drop and almost similar to minor spoiler Genosha in X-Men '97 when all the psychics get blasted all at once. Kind of thing. It's just like reminiscent of that, where like everyone's like, oh, like, and it's not Jean.
And everybody's like, "Are you okay? We are all fine right now."
Yeah, and Emma's like, "Don't you hear that noise?" I was like, "Well, clearly not." But we trust.
They're not all shuddering in pain right now, so no, they do not know Emma.
And then they start losing control of the Blackbird, and things like happen kind of quickly. So they lose control of the Blackbird. Presumably, some telepathic entity takes control of this thing. We don't quite see. And then, before you get a chance to think about that, like missiles come out of the side of the mountain and get launched at the Blackbird.
Well, you do see the xmen robot that is shooting it. So
yeah, and then I like how Cyclops just kind of accepts their fate. He's like, "Hey, everybody, we're gonna get hit," and then they do, and then it blacks out, and they recover from a crash they all survived from.
Yep.
But then, as they're like trudging through the snow, they hear like a monster noise. Is the best way to put it.
Yeah,
and
which never gets addressed.
Yeah. Yet. I'm presuming that this is part of the mystery that's like later. But I think it was Armor that asked Emma, I was like, "Is this the noise that you heard?"
Yeah, it was like a banshee howl kind of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember though. I didn't take a note here if Emma said it was or not. I think we're just supposed to presume it was.
Emma was hurting so much that she couldn't answer at that point.
She's like, "Shut the fuck up."
Then there's like this weird effect that happens that I called it snow ghosts at first, and simultaneously Charles feels it in the United States of like there's a big psychic thing happening right then and there.
Yeah. My note here was like the snow is goo, and like it eats the Blackbird like a Venus flytrap or something.
I literally wrote, "Why does it look like cum?"
The Cyclops semen.
Yeah. But it's like it's too like blobby and viscous and all those gross words, and it envelops the jet, and they start yelling at Storm of like, "Can't you do something?" And she's like, "It's not weather."
She's like, "Also, ew, no, I'm not touching that. It's a metric ton of cum, so no." Like, I'm gonna have to bleep that, but that'll probably be our clip.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to try the new trial thing on Instagram with that clip in particular. See how many followers we don't get from it. So,
and a very specific fault. And then
the noise stops.
Yeah. There's also this weird pan from the sky down to the snow when that happens. And I don't know if that was just a cinematic choice. I was like looking for something in the sky, but it's this weird thing where it's like, it's in the sky, then it pans down, but I was like, I didn't see anything.
Nope.
So maybe it was just to buy time, like a pan and scan thing.
Right. And then they do one of the things that is very much an anime trope from an animation perspective. The laser shoots above them, makes like a straight line. There's a pause for a second, and then the location of where the laser hit then explodes outward. Like that. Yeah. I've never seen that happen in like American-based anime or animation.
Yeah, it's like that tension, right? It basically causes an avalanche.
Yeah.
We get the full reveal of the U-Man attacking, or one U-Man.
But before we get the U-Man, I will say, like, there's the quick shot where it's Scott blasting out of, like, being under there, and it's kind of like this very cinematic, like, pseudo-still, where it's only, like, light rotation of the camera. It's like one of the prettiest shots of the entire series so far is like that moment of like all six of them are engaging their powers and stuff like that. And it's like Yeah, that's a really, really pretty shot. It actually reminded me of X-Men 97, the shot with Wolverine losing the adamantium, where it's like only slight animation over a still. That was very much what that vibe was for me of it. So
yeah, and the trauma associated with the visual. It's like a bullet time with someone's trauma.
I've had trauma from that scene for 30 years at this point. I'm fine.
But yeah, then the U-Man attacks, and Cyclops shoots it. And at first, I was wondering, it's like, oh, is this the kind of like Sentinel takes on Bishop's power kind of thing? Because it did like the Bishop thing where it absorbed the blast and then like shot it straight back at him. And knocked him out.
Except he didn't shoot it straight back. He's like spider-webbed
everybody. Yeah, to everybody. But then it like got more like, I guess that was why they were scanning all the X-Men's powers before, was it was getting adaptive. So then it shot out these like canisters to like superheat Wolverine to try to melt his adamantium, which I'm not familiar with that take on taking him down, and that sounds like the worst way for him to die.
Yeah.
Like, because his skeleton can't
pretty
heal,
bad.
right? Because the adamantium is like an inorganic thing in him, or like wasn't naturally part of him. He can heal the other stuff, but this is like something that was inserted. That sounds insane.
I do like that Sublime calls Cyclops like One Eye as like an insult, but as he's doing it, they added the animation because his eyes are not the same size, and the bigger eye was going like googly as he's saying it. So he's like making fun of him for having one eye, but at the same time, it's like, your other eye is not doing too great. Also, Cyclops has two eyes. He's never actually been a Cyclops outside of the Age of Apocalypse. So
that kind of also reminds me. Remember, like, I don't think I've heard it in like decades now, but remember, like in the like 90s and especially the 80s, you'd hear people like bully people with glasses and call them Four Eyes.
Four Eyes. Yep.
Even when I was a kid, that didn't make sense. I was like, I guess, but also like a lot of people wear glasses. It's like a weird. Okay, I guess just trying to be like, go out of your way to be mean.
Dude, bullies aren't smart. We know this.
I'm so glad that that's changed since then. Anyway, so yeah, it tries to melt Wolverine, and then I didn't have another way to describe this. They send a kite out to Uno reverse Storm.
I said he has an angry kite.
Yeah,
yeah,
because he literally says like, "Yo, go fly a kite," and that, that's just generally an expression. But then he actually sent out a kite that just like deflected the power back at Storm. Then he tries to blast Armor, but specifically says like, we don't have enough information about her, but I can blast her off the face of the earth. And I guess he doesn't have enough information about Emma either, because didn't provision for her turning into a diamond.
Right, because the time she turned into the diamond, it was Kick kind of going off on his own, not under Sublime. So that would make sense.
And then she says specifically, like, my telepathy doesn't work. And I wasn't quite sure if that was in regards of, like, the dead zone or the reference to her. She can't use she can only use one set of powers at once. She can be diamond and telepathy and not the other,
I don't think it's the diamond or telepathy, because she had turned off the diamond. I didn't know if it was the dead zone or if it was because the U-Men have had their, like, heads fucked with so much that they're not actually able to be like attacked with it, because we saw we saw she had tried to do it at some other point and wasn't able to mess with the other human. I want to say, so
they're like basically like not human anymore,
not human enough for it.
Yeah, that's probably more of like where it's at then. And then Armor powers up and Cyclops' bully training worked.
Mech fight, yep.
Yeah, so she fights the U-Men pretty effectively. And then Beast puts on, I always forget about it, but I always love seeing what Beast's glasses are going to be like in a show. So he has like very like sleek, even though this wasn't Y2K, like Y2K style, anime glasses, and he's able to like, I think this is the correct like term for like MacGuffin or something. It's like, it's the thing that lets him get all the information he needs very quickly. Yes. So he's like, oh, his weak point is at the base of his spine. Like, your glasses told you that? All right. And so he goes...
Yeah, no explanation needed. It just works.
Yeah. And so his source of power is at the base of his spine, and he goes to attack it, and it looks like he failed but he kind of gives like a snide remark, and you see that he actually planted like an explosive on it.
So the great part about watching it twice is I paid attention the second time, because the first time he gets grabbed off so quick and he does like this backflip to land safely. They actually go through the effort of, as he's getting pulled off of it, even in the wide shot, you still see a little dot on that back spot.
Oh, nice.
So they made sure to animate that he put that little mine on the power source. Like, that was like beautiful level of detail that was acknowledged in this show. So
I like little things like that in any kind of content. It kind of reminds me of like a TikTok I saw recently of there's like a mom sitting at a kitchen table getting ready to eat some food or something, and then her kids march in one at a time, like I think 4 kids, one at a time, holding a random object like a Swiffer or a vacuum, looking up into the sky or the ceiling, and they march past like they're in a parade, and she's like, what is going on? And then the video ends and she looks down and her plate's empty, and you're like, what the? And I hate that it made me watch it twice, because I did the same thing the mom did, and I looked at the top of the frame.
Focused up. Yep.
So the kids were doing that because they would walk by and they each took a piece of her sandwich as they walked by. So it was kind of like that's like, oh yeah, the continuity works if you roll back and watch it.
That's why you don't have kids. You would starve to death.
Yeah. Me and Lucy work out because she's a obligate carnivore and I'm a vegetarian, so the puzzle piece together. Even though we don't eat. Oh, she's so bored right now. She's just staring at me.
Yep.
So the X-Men tag team, the U-Man, and I don't know if I was supposed to know this before, because they were showing Sublime controlling the U-Man, but they revealed that Sublime was in the U-Man like a mech suit.
So the first time they showed him, I thought he was controlling it remotely, and then as it continued to fight, then it was like I realized it was in it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like they do a lot of the synergy stuff where Hisato gets him to holds him off, and then Emma. The most detail I've seen in a high heel. It's not just that she has a high heel. It was the high heel, and then there was like a part connecting the toe to the heel on it as well. But she still had like the space in between to like have fancy shoes, basically. Because she literally kicks through the front and is like that 1/4 inch from like caving in Sublime's face. So
yeah. So when Sublime is like not naked, but not in the mech suit, Beast notices that he has a thing on his arm, and he describes it as like their own version of Cerebro. He says it's a mutant detector. Which is, I appreciate this kind of story because it feels like it should explain the dead zone, but it doesn't. It's almost like kind of like a lost thing where it's like, well, I kind of had a question answered, but now I have more questions. Like,
right, because is it different technology than Cerebro? Probably. You know, what's powering it that they're able to detect mutants separately than that kind of stuff.
It's strange enough that there's a possibility that's responsible for the dead zone, but there's no obvious explanation of why it would be causing the dead zone. Then Sublime says, like, you guys should have just, like, let me kill you or something, because now you have to face this monster. And
it's better for you to die with me than to face what you have coming. And then he sets the self-destruct off. Yeah,
and I love how, like, he self-destructs, and Beast is like, oh, I really wish I could have studied that piece of technology.
I loved that. In the world of X-Men, where a death is okay because they're not worried about, like, you know, the network standards and stuff like that in the same way. Like, Beast just casually being okay with somebody dying and thinking of it from the scientific perspective. Fucking great. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and then we see the Mastermind has been watching this whole thing. This probably isn't the case, but because of the way, once again, the weird pan thing, it panned back up to the sky, so I was like, is this supposed to imply that he's watching from above somewhere? Probably not.
But I want to know more about where he is, because they're showing weird reflections. Because, like, we see him in that room that had, like, a window to the front of it before, but now it's, like very techno-organic and stuff like that in the background with no explanation to what it is. So that's now, like, outside of this valley, the thing I want to know the most is, like, where is he actually right now? So
that might be an interesting twist of, like I'm just seeing arbitrary pans to and from the sky, and we see that there's some sort of, like, Truman Show dome situation happening. I don't know. That'd be weird. I don't know how that would work, but yeah. So then we see like the inevitable, where the X-Men have to trudge through the snow because a Blackbird got shot down by a missile. I know this is supposed to be a dramatic moment. I was cracking up the whole time because fucking Emma is freezing her literal tits off, and like the whole team. Like I think I like how everybody's looking at each other like, yes, this was a good uniform choice for going to. Like they knew where they were going. Like,
yeah, it was snowy the last time they were here a week ago.
So this wasn't like oh my god, we were in the Savage Land and like we got teleported somewhere like Mojo World. They're like, we're going to Japan in the winter. Mm-hmm. So that outfit's too skimpy. Let's put you in this one. It has a cape.
But I guess the good part is I pointed out that the heels she was wearing do have a flat bottom to them. Yeah. Because if she was just wearing a spike heel, she would just keep sinking into the sand.
That's a random plot point that was in one of the Jurassic World movies, maybe the first Jurassic World movie.
The first Jurassic World. Yep.
Yeah, with Bryce Dallas Howard.
That she should not have been able to run the way she did in heels. Yeah.
Heels away from a T-Rex.
Yes.
Like all my friends that wear heels, that's the first thing they say. They're like, "How is she?" You know what? Never mind. Because it's like raining. She has a flare and she's outrunning a T-Rex.
Remove the heels from the equation. She still should not be outrunning the T-Rex. Yeah. No.
Anyway, so Emma's freezing her tits off. Wolverine says he smells something, and they pan over and there's like a cabin. I love, because of animation, especially anime, that they animate this character to be like kind of nefarious looking. They're like, oh, this is just not like a normal person. This is clearly a doctor. There's like I don't even watch that much anime, but like I was like, they drew this person like a doctor because this person wears a lab coat at home. You know, with sexy Bayonetta glasses. Because like that's the
sexy Bayonetta glasses is really spot on. Yeah, there's something about her that it's like she just has implied nefariousness to her, and I don't know what it is, but it's there. So
I think it's like the sharp edges, right, of her drawing, like her face and stuff. That's kind of like where I got, like, I don't know, somebody who actually draws and works in visual art might know better.
Yeah, but then we find out that it's Dr. Sasaki, and her name is Yui, which I was like, why do I know the name Yui? And it's because that's the name of a mom in one of the other animes that I watched. Okay. And then I was like, oh, is this just a common name and I'm just a stupid American? And it is. It's a very common first name for women. So,
gotcha. It's like a Jennifer or something.
Yeah, but I love how like they go up to this woman's cabin. They have to hope that it's like a not racist there.
Yeah, because
you have Beast showing up in full blue of like, hey, can we come in from the storm? Also, you're like the normal person would just be like, that thing's gonna fucking eat me,
right?
Especially if you're like in the middle of the mountains and stuff like that. Like, it's not like you're in like Tokyo, you know?
Yeah, so. I guess that's why they got lucky that they got to presumably the Japan's version of Xavier's Institute. That's all we really know right now, is there's some sort of equivalent.
Yeah.
But the longer the scene goes, the more we're getting the sense that it's like not quite that.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know yet, because Armor recognizes her. And
apparently she went to her school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way this doctor replies is like very sus. It's like, yes, of course I remember you. But the whole time it animates Emma side-eyeing her, and then the doctor side-eyeing her back. And that's where we're left with the mystery.
And the blizzard fades to black. It was like, okay. Like before we record, I don't watch on the next episode because I don't want that spoiled for me and influencing this decision. As soon as we're done recording, I am going to watch up on our next episode, because I don't want to like make a prediction based off of a teaser like kind of scenario. Yeah. But I'm like, yeah, this is all wrong right now. So
yeah, and I think if I remember right, I think like the score during that section was supposed to be like tense and stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was horror movie vibes.
So it's interesting. We'll see. Like, yeah, if the next episode is like, like you said, like in a horror movie or like an indie movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
But we're officially at the halfway point.
I know, it's wild to say that.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Also, we're in fucking March. How that happened?
Yeah.
I was writing to some of my old school Patreon people. Like, it's to me, I think I feel like this is around the time of the year, like January, February is like, oh, we're just getting out of the holidays and getting the year started and stuff. I feel like here, up to the holidays is like when we make like is when your experiences for the year like are like defined, you know. Mm-hmm. It's weird. I'm in my head. It's like that was last week. Now we're halfway through this series. Still no release date of X-Men 97.
Nope. As of the recording date, that has not been announced yet.
Yeah.
And we were talking, because of the way the calendars were aligning, by the time this is out, I'll have already been gone to GDC and come back. I missed the premiere night of X-Men 97 Season 1 because I was at GDC. So we're basically at 2 years since the original release, do not know anything other than summer.
Oh, I didn't even... I for some reason in my head, X-Men 97 was last year, but yeah, no, that was 2 years ago. That's
it was
crazy.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know that intellectually, but it wasn't like sinking in because where I was at that point, I guess, I think I mentioned this when we were originally commenting on it, but I was in a situation where I was collaborating with a YouTube channel across the street from where the viewing parties for X-Men 97 were happening. That it was like fate was just like, just go.
Yep. Super convenient.
This thing. Yeah. The only thing I had to do was like kill a couple hours in Hollywood, which, that could just be like walking down the street anyway.
Sure.
But it's wild. Even as my era, like where I was at that point, being 2 years ago, was like, that's crazy.
Yep.
So
you're in a whole nother house.
Oh yeah. Like I'm safe, and me and Lucy are happy and healthy. She's bored, if anything.
Yeah. She's sick of your shit. She's still sick of your shit though. So yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad we're rewatching this because I remember liking it when it originally came out, but I couldn't tell anybody the story because I honestly didn't remember it, which I know surprised anyone that knows us. But
you did good though for watching it last night instead of today, though. I was very proud of you.
Yeah, me too, because a whole lot of life has happened between last night and today. So,
Rod, we didn't encounter any script problems. We didn't forget anything today. This is weird. I don't know if I trust the next recording. It's going to go really, really bad.
So we should wrap this up before.
Yeah. Before Scorpion comes out of your Mortal Kombat machine.
Right. I do have a disembodied Scorpion bust behind that machine, so
it's true.
Well, thanks for joining us. If you have any thoughts, make sure to drop them into the comments for either the YouTube videos, Spotify upload, or official Instagram post about this episode. If you like what you heard, we'd appreciate a rating on the podcast app you're choosing. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube podcasts. YouTube is the video that you can see me and occasionally Lucy if she gets up.
Well, we have YouTube video and YouTube podcast because they have an RSS feed, so that's a thing.